Today is an awesome morning for me. I don't know why. I think I just started it right. And so I wanted to share some things with you that I can't decide if I want to start sharing every day and maybe doing a little live and making it more worth my while or not. But I also want to challenge you guys to do these things for yourself, to really invest in yourself, depending on what you want out of this business. I promise you it's there. If you guys missed my live, I did a live on Friday. Holy crap. We got into Denver. Little did we know the week before they had insanely crazy hail, like apparently like golf ball size hails that demolished a ton of their cars, just a ton of cars. And it was, all over. You've got dealerships and you've got auto rental places and you've got, public transportation, things that, people's cars were literally destroyed by hail. And so we show up there and the line is just winding everywhere and we're just ticked off. Right when we walk in, it was just like, you get ready to stand in a line and you're automatically just mad. I am anyways. I hate wasting time. I'm like a super time sensitive person. So if I'm going to be spending my time doing anything, it needs to be productive. Well, standing in line waiting for something is not getting me to my next goal. It's just standing there in my mind, even though I am getting to my next goal, but it's so much of my mindset. So I was like, well, I'm not going to waste time. I'm going to hop on a live. And so I'm really glad I did because I feel like when we get to attend events, whether it be family events or things that bring us up, if we don't share about them quickly or express our gratitude quickly, sometimes we forget. And so I'm really glad that I took that opportunity because it still just resonates in me what happened Thursday. And I don't know if any of the other girls are on. Maybe I'll hurry and message if Jenna, Kelly, or Sam are on. Type in the comments for me because I'd love to have you guys share your experience as well because it was amazing. We had an opportunity to actually, I was kind of given the opportunity to, thank you, Deanne, to go to Wyoming. And I was like, I'm not going to go. I really need to focus on my sales and my business this week. And I just think I'm going to give other people the opportunity. And so I wasn't going to go. And I actually think about stuff like that a lot. I'm kind of weird. Like my mom was buying an apartment and she's like, well, I need a 3-bedroom because I need 1 guest room, 1 office, da, 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 da. And I thought, the 3-bedroom apartments are really hard to come by because so many families are scooping them up. And I said, Mom, you're by yourself. Like you're taking away that type of apartment from somebody else that really needs it. And you just want it. And she was like, wow, that's a really great way to look at it. And I'm like, yeah, it kind of was. Like I kind of blew myself away that I thought like that. Because there's a lot of times like, yeah, we can take advantage. We can hurry and buy all the Disney up and give nobody else the opportunity. But if we let everybody else get a feel, then it obviously blesses the lives of many more. But yet then you're going to deal with somebody else who doesn't think that way. And then you're going to feel like you were taken advantage of. And it can be a vicious cycle. But the main thing I want you to understand in all of this is all of it is about mindset. All of it. It's all about mindset. And that's just one of the main things. If you guys want to read a book that I've talked about several times, but if you're looking for a new book, The Outward Mindset is a great book. I thought I had it right here, but I don't on me. But The Outward Mindset, I have it on Audible and I have a physical copy of it. And I have been doing that and reading it. Plus we did a focus coaching group on the outward mindset and it's taught me and so much. And I just think it's mind over matter. So, we did this thing at leadership. I think it was back in October and we all sat in tables and we talked about, if you don't know this about me, then you don't know me. And so we got to share something like, if you don't know this about me, then you don't know enough about me. Well, if you don't know that I've had all 3 of my babies without an epidural, then you don't know that about me. And so my ideas of mindset are just beyond anything. Because I truly believed, and this is before I even took any classes, that if I could believe in myself and I knew pioneers had done it, animals do it, anybody can do it, I can do it. I have to be able to do it. And I had to literally reject all the naysayers because a lot of people, I had a freaking, what is it called? Anesthesiologist walk up to me. I was working at the bank and, we were talking about my pregnancy and he's like, oh, I'll be there. I'll get to give you your anesthesia. And I was like, no, you won't. And he's like, oh, please. He's like, you're one of those. You think you're going to try and do it without medication. And I was like, excuse me? Like, are you kidding me right now? Like, yeah, no, there's no like chance. Like I put the doubt completely out of my mind. And I think it's because also how I was raised, I never had the doubt. My mother had all of us without epidurals. And so I didn't really know about them in the beginning. So, last week I kind of played you guys a clip on programming from the book I was reading, The Morning Miracle, and how you can be programmed. So thankfully I was programmed in a sense from my mom and from an early age, like to never know about those things. But either way, it's all about mindset. And this morning I was running and I was doing this workout with a girl, and she had us do, it was 1 minute on 0 incline, 1 minute on 3% incline, 1 minute on 5% incline, and 1 minute on 7% incline. And it was running the whole time. You had to maintain the same pace. Well, I start, jogging, and by the end I'm just dying. And the last one I was like, screw this. My legs are capable. Like, I know I'm able to do this. So I bumped it up, and on my last minute, I just went all out, and I thought, isn't it amazing, like what we can do to challenge ourselves? And then I did it again in another challenge. I was doing these box jumps, and I was like, I wonder if I can do 30 box jumps in 1 minute. And before I'd only hit 28, and I was like, this sucks. I can't get over that 30. And sure enough, on my last one, I was like, balls to the wall. I'm going out for it. And I did it. And I did 30, and I had 22 seconds to rest afterwards. And it's literally because of my mindset, because I am able to do anything. My body will typically push me to the extreme that my mind will conjure up. And it is so important to think about mindset in everything that you do. Your mindset controls everything. So whether you read the book or not, think about your mindset in all things. I shared another analogy. Could you guys raise your hand or maybe say a comment if you guys watched my live? If I had like 10 people do it, then I won't repeat my story. Okay. Raised hand. Okay. You can raise hand. I see Callista. So a lot of you didn't watch my live. So I'm going to go through this story I did. So there wasn't a ton of you. So I'm going to go through this story really quick that Mark shared with me. And one thing I want you to also, so there was a few of you, but I'm going to go through it really quick. Because of course I don't want to waste your time, right? I want you to do all the new knowledge. I don't want to waste your time. But it was so important for me to hear this from Mark. First of all, we were supposed to be in Guatemala all last week, and then they ended up staying at the ranch all week in Wyoming, mostly because the plane dropped them off, and then the plane had to go to Texas and go through some trainings, and they had to do some stuff with the plane there, so they couldn't even be picked back up until Sunday. So they were stuck there for a full week without a plane. Wow, right? But it's this beautiful place, and they thought they would be there to relax. And Deanne just had this thought, like, why would I be here alone? Like, why would I do this alone? Like, when I have the opportunity to bring people here, let's see what happens. And so she put it out there to a few of us leaders and said, hey, I think I'm going to do this training on Thursday. Will you guys put it out there to your teams and see if you can get some people to come? A lot of people came back. We had 4 of us that went from my team, and then 2 other people that hopped on. But so we had 6 of us go, but a lot of teams, there was a girl that flew from Atlanta. There was people that flew from all over to be there. Mark and Deanne didn't have to do that. They didn't have to take any time. Not only that, then they opened their home. So before the training, they said, if you guys are here early, feel free to come to the ranch and you can tour the ranch. Didn't have to do that. Absolutely didn't have to do that. The main reason she does that is because she's like, this is something I never dreamed of. I never dreamed of owning a ranch. They can't even buy things on credit because their credit was so bad. It might be better now, but it was so bad because they were going through foreclosures for so long that they legitimately, and I don't even know if they want me sharing this with you, but oh well, I know it, so I'm going to share it. Their credit is shot. They were losing everything. And Nicole told me I would go, because Nicole was living with them for a while, their daughter, Nicole. And she's like, I would go home and there would be foreclosure notices on the door. And I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. Like, I don't know if I really believe that. Like, are you serious? And she's like, I am dead serious. And then I started learning, like, she bought a new Benz, and she's like, we couldn't even put it on credit. We had to pay cash. So, there's some things that, like, you just don't even understand about these people. So they took time out of their day and their week to host this training. And not even a training. There ended up being 400 people that came from, there was some people that, flew from Atlanta, obviously, drove 7 hours to be there, drove 9 hours. Some of the girls had drove 9 hours, and I had to drive 4. And I was like, oh, I'm not going to go. It's too far. But then I realized there were some other girls going on the team. So I was like, I'm going. I'm totally going to go. And, we had the most incredible time. But one thing, after the training, we were staying at the ranch, and I stopped Mark and started asking him a few questions about some things that have been going on. And he had this great analogy about our mindset. And he said, imagine your week of waking up. You can't get out of bed. You're just miserable because you went to bed the night before and you're like, freak, it's Monday tomorrow. I hate Mondays. I hate starting my work week. I hate having to go back. I hate hitting the grind. I just want to sleep in. I hate that somebody else has control over me. And you go to bed thinking that. Well, Monday morning, you're going to wake up and those are going to be the first thoughts that come into your mind. And that's one thing I've been learning in the Miracle Morning. If you go to bed with positive attitude, if you're like, I'm so excited, I have these goals I'm going to hit tomorrow, these things are going to be amazing, I cannot wait, then you're going to have that kind of a day in a morning, because what you go to sleep with on your mind, you wake up with on your mind. So think about that. So you put all these negative things in your head. You wake up, you have the worst Monday. Your kids are screaming. They're fighting at the dinner table. One of them spills milk all over the floor. And legit, your husband walks in. He's like, I have a flat tire. I rode on it too long. The whole alignment's off my car. I have to get it fixed. All these things are happening to you. And you're like just sitting there shelling out the dough, like having everything weigh down your positivity, which was already pretty low to start with. Then in the middle of the night, you're coming home from dropping your husband off to get his car fixed, and you guys are driving home and your car breaks down next. And it's dark outside. Your kids are at home with the neighbor who just watched him for a minute so you could go, whatever your crappy day might be. And you're like, well, we have nowhere to go. We got to start walking and finding help. So you get out of your car and you start walking, and you're thinking, okay, there's a gas station like 3 miles away. We just passed it. We got to get to the gas station. And then all of a sudden you see a car or somebody walking towards you. Your first thoughts, what do you think your first thoughts are after the day you just had? In my mind, when he said that to me, I said, oh my gosh, I'm going to get robbed. Somebody's going to take all my money. They're going to try and steal my car, my keys, everything. Everything's gone. And that's your first thought. And so you're scared. You are in, yes, robbed or worse. You're just in this fear base because that's your whole day's been crappy. Okay, so rewind that. You go to bed Sunday night, which I specifically did last night. I did all these things last night to be my own experiment. I went to bed and I was like, I freaking love Mondays. I love being on schedule. I love having a schedule to keep. I love getting up. I love working out, getting ready for the day, putting on my lipstick. And I imagined it, and I went to bed, and I woke up at 5:30, probably 5:15, so I could have at least 30 minutes before I had to leave to go to my workout because I need to do my time in the morning. And I visualized, and I was like, okay, I need to get a fundraiser approved. I need to get invoices sent. I need to make sure items are pulled. I need to do shipping. I need to do all these things. And I visualized myself accomplishing them. But my first thing I visualized was having a really good workout, which I was like, okay, if I thought about it this morning, then I got to do it while I'm there. And then I did it. And I feel more on task already, even with just this note that says get fundraiser approved, because I've been meaning to do that for 2 weeks. And so I do those things. I accomplish those goals. I get things pulled. I have an amazing day. I post 10 outfits and 4 of them sell, and I'm just on top of my game, and I'm feeling really good about my day. My husband's car still breaks down. My kids still fight in the morning, but I'm like, you know what? I'm going to have a good day. I don't care. So we get things taken care of. We're out in the dark. We're coming home. We get our car breaks down, and we think, okay, let's just get to, we can't change that the car is broke down. So let's just get to the gas station. Well, then you see somebody coming towards you. What's your first thought? What is your first thought? Is, to me, I would think, and when he did this experience, help is here. Exactly. Like, I get the cold chills thinking about that, like how impactful that really is on your life. Your mindset determines your day. Your mindset determines your business. Your mindset determines how you mother your children, how you treat your husband, how you run your business. Your mindset is everything. Who's in control of that? Who is in control of that mindset? I can be in control right now. You can let me control your mindset because I can put good vibes out there, right? I can put all the good vibes out there, and I can tell you, you guys, you are incredible women. You have all chosen to join a business. You have all invested a lot of money into your business because you believe in you. and you do, and you have done those things, remember that. Start your day every morning realizing what you believed, what you did for yourself. Why did you do that? Why did you invest that? That's a lot of money. And not only that, it's a lot of time. It takes away time from you doing your dishes, from you doing your laundry, from you going to the park with your kids, from you, being with your family from time to time when you're doing parties. It takes a lot of sacrifice. And you chose to do that. Even still, you invested in yourself. You are choosing to be on this webinar. There's only 68 of you, and there's well over that on our team page. But a lot of people go back and watch, thankfully. But you guys are choosing to do these things. Why? Why do you care to be on this webinar? Why on earth do you care? Why do you care to be part of a team? Why is being part of a good team so important? I think it's everything. And it's not, it doesn't matter who your sponsor is or who your second sponsor is or anything like that, or your sponsor. You guys, we have an amazing team. We have the opportunity to bless each other's lives and to share our accomplishments with one another. The girl that did the geocaching, oh my gosh, you guys, she did not have to share that with us. And then of course I share it with a few other girls, and I'm like, look at how innovative women are. Like, look at how awesome this idea is. And she was willing to share that. Like, that is just amazing. She didn't have to do that. She could have been like, oh my gosh, I've never seen anyone do this before. I'm totally going to do this. I'm going to keep it to myself. I'm going to do it all over the country. I'm going to take. She did not do that. She did not choose to be selfish. She chose to share that with us. And thank you for doing that. Who has her name? Somebody post her name here. Sorry, there's a ton of comments here, and I'll read them while Sheri is talking so I can respond. Gabby. Thank you, Gabby. Like, how awesome was that? You guys, that is what being part of this team is about. That is the culture that I will only allow. Sometimes you guys may submit a post, and I might not approve it. I might not allow it to be put on the page, because a lot of times I'll message you and tell you why. Sometimes I'm not going to lie. I'm not perfect. A lot of times I'm like, hey, if you could just reword that a little bit and come at it. Like, if you go read The Power of TED, and if you come at this as not a persecutor, and like LuLaRoe did this to me, but like, how can I be better at this? I will totally approve the post. So think about how you write things. Think about how you speak things, and how important it is, and how you go about things, and what it can do for you personally and for the team as a whole. And what information needs to be there. So as you think about when you're posting and sharing and commenting, I saw some really sad, there was one person being super positive about a bad situation that they couldn't control, sorry. And people were just kind of attacking that person for being positive. And it made me feel really sad that, like we would try to tear somebody down that had good feelings and good thoughts about a situation, was trying to make the best of it, because there's things we cannot control. Like Mark, I was like, Mark, you said that it was going to be posted at 11 and it was posted at 10:30. And he said, I'm not going to apologize because it still happened. It wasn't perfect. And I get that. But if I were to sit there and tell my guys how bad they are, or girls, my team, you're terrible, I can't believe you did that, and blame them, I would not be a good person. So when they came to me, like he said, the team went to him and said, I'm so sorry. I didn't, whatever, miscommunication, who knows what happened. I wasn't there. Just like I always talk about, like baseball games or basketball games. I'm like, if you just do this, you'd win the game. If you just do this, well, I can shout that through the screen. I cannot be on the field and know what's going on when I'm watching my kids play softball and I'm telling them how to play and how they can win. That's not really logistically what's going on with them. So we don't know what's going on. We don't know what situation they are in. All we need to do is say, crap, that just happened. What am I going to do to make it better, and move forward? Because he said, everybody can bring to me their issues. Everybody can, have a problem and an issue with something we've done. You bring to me negativity, I won't listen. I won't put up with it. So there is issues. There's no negativity. And I loved that. Love that. That man, I mean, I spent probably an hour and a half standing there, and he stood there and he was so tired. He yawned like 10 times. And he's like, I'm sorry, I'll let you go to bed. He's like, no, I want to be here. Bring me. What else do you got for me? How can I help you? How can I serve you? This is Mark. He is the CEO. No, he's like I don't know what he is. He's the owner of a $1 billion company, regardless. I don't know what his exact title is, but he took the time to be there with me. So when you put, and the main thing he talked about too, him and Mark Eaton, when you put the time to serve others and to think about other people in your business, you will be blessed. If you're having a bad day, if something is happening to you and you feel like the world is against you, find yourself and go serve somebody else. That is the only thing I can tell you to help you, because I cannot fix it. I can't fix that shipping is behind. FYI, you guys, shipping is behind several days. That's why I said if you haven't gotten a shipping or tracking notification in your back office for an order placed on the 9th or earlier, that's what they're caught up to is January or June 9th. And if you paid for express shipping, you'll still get that, but it doesn't mean that you're going to get your order pulled sooner. It means that your order is going to be still shipped quickly. So just be mindful of that. I am here to help you and do everything I can. But there's some things I cannot fix or do, but if they're aware of some issues, I can help them. So just know that as a team, let's work together and think about serving others. And that's why I'm super, super excited. So when I was at the Utah training a few weeks ago, Kenny stood up and he talked about this too. Kenny stood up and he talked about it on the webinar the next week and said, who is good at some things? It was a month behind. Oh my gosh, in August, Taylor, that's so true. Who's good at different things? Who's good at fundraisers? Who's good at mobile boutiques? Who's good at hostess prep? Who's good at booking parties? And all these girls would start raising their hands and sharing. And I was like trying to look at everybody and be like, okay. And I'm writing notes and I'm trying to, I had the awesome opportunity to run into Sheri, and I saw that she'd raised her hand and stood up and went and met one-on-one with somebody about fundraisers. She really feels that she is great at doing fundraisers. And I thought, awesome. We have Beth Chapman in our group too, who's amazing at fundraisers and seeing it from different mindsets. And a lot of you are so great at it, but why not bring somebody in from a different team that can share about fundraisers and just the awesome opportunity that we have to help and serve others. We're doing a fundraiser right now. I had a hostess last week that said, I have to cancel my party because I'm doing a fundraiser all week for my brother who has ALS. And I was like, ding, ding, ding. I'm like, hey, let's turn your party into a fundraiser. So obviously we're doing that all week and I'm so, so excited. I know Mark Eaton was huge. It was so awesome. So I'm super excited to have Sheri on with us today. Sheri, are you able to unmute? Hopefully I can. Oh, there you are. I see you. Hi. So I just want to thank you for coming on. She's kind of had a crazy morning. Sorry, I ended up going a little bit longer than I needed to. You're like, I could have just not had my kids carpool and no, it's good. But I appreciate you for being on and for sharing your words of wisdom with us, even though you tell us who your upline is too, because I'm not even sure who they are. I don't think, I just ask. I am all about asking and getting help and getting all the knowledge just for all of us as a team to be better. So thank you so much for being on. If you'll share a little bit about that and share your why and your LuLaRoe story with us a little bit and how fundraisers kind of started to play in and how that got to be a thing for you.
Awesome. Okay. Thanks, Brittany. First of all, I just want to say when I met Brittany in the bathroom line, actually at training, we were standing in line for the bathroom and I was like, is Brittany Hunter really talking to me right now? You're kind of a celebrity amongst the girls on my team. So anyway, that was really exciting for me. My upline is Kim Roylance and then Vicki Scott. So I live in Utah. I was Kim's neighbor for a long time. We just moved a block away, but I'm in Utah and I have been a consultant for almost a year, retailer, I guess I should say. So I onboarded at the Inspire training last June in Utah and got my onboarding right after convention. So I was super fired up. I got my whole package and I just took off right out of the gates. I absolutely love everything about LuLaRoe. I decided to sign up for LuLaRoe because we had been through some pretty crazy stuff in our family. And I'll share, that is a part of my why. So I'll share that. 2 years ago, this August, I asked my husband for a divorce. He has been an addict most of his life. And it had gotten to the point after 9 years of being married that I decided I was finished with what came along with addiction. And he respected my wishes and moved out. And a week later, let me know he was admitting himself to inpatient rehab down in St. George, Utah. 4.5 hours away, 90-day treatment, which meant there was no way for us to support ourselves financially. I was not working, 3 young children. And so I started to hustle. I started buying things from China at wholesale and selling them on yard sale sites and going door to door to my neighbors trying to make ends meet. And it obviously was not enough. You can only get so much selling like a vinyl mat for your car to your neighbors. And it started to get to the point where we were running out of money. Our savings was dwindling. I did not want to use a credit card. And one day I was down to the last little bit of money that we had available for groceries, and my parents were not in a position where they could help. My in-laws did not want to help because I wanted to divorce their son. We were out of resources, and one day Vicki Scott came to my door and she said, I don't want to seem pushy. We had known each other for years, and I had watched her business shoot through the roof and Kim's as well. But I never needed it. I never had a reason. And Vicki came to me and said, I don't want to sound pushy, but you need LuLaRoe right now. Like, this is your answer. And I was like, it's not for me. I don't have any money to put up. I am not going to let anyone pay for me to onboard. And I turned her down. I flat turned her down. A couple days later, an anonymous check showed up in the mail, and it happened to be exactly what we needed to cover our mortgage. And then a few days later, some teenagers from my church showed up on my doorstep and sent me away and watched my kids and made dinner for my family and cleaned my house. And a few days later, some more teenagers from my church congregation showed up and took care of my sprinklers that weren't working and cut my grass and mowed our horse pasture. And we didn't have horses to mow it for us. And it was just one thing after another where other people stepped in and filled a need. It was by the grace of God and these incredible people, some are complete strangers, blessing my family that allowed us to not go hungry while my husband was away. I say husband because things have worked out. It's been amazing. One blessing after another. He got back and it was Christmas time. We had no money, obviously, for Christmas. And we had Christmas delivered by so many different Secret Santas that we ended up giving half of it away to other needy families because we didn't need 5 Christmases. And then here comes January, February, tax time. We owed money. We didn't have any money to pay taxes. And I thought, you know what? It is time for LuLaRoe. And so we went and we met with Vicki. We decided to onboard with a credit card. And then all of a sudden, a couple months later, I get onboarded at Inspire. And from there, it's just been one miracle after another that's allowed our family to pay for rehab, pay off that debt from rehab because someone lent us the money for that. Then be able to start to pay for other people struggling with addiction to enter rehab. So when my first month selling was a $14,000 sales month. It was insane. It was way beyond anything I ever thought I was capable of doing. And in that moment, my husband and I thought, there's so much good that we can do with this. We had never needed anyone to step in and basically take care of our family like we did when he was gone. And so I don't think I ever realized how many other people needed help as well. My eyes had not been opened to that. I lived a fairly self-centered life. It was me and my family. We didn't reach outside of ourselves a whole lot. We didn't give back a whole lot. We just were very focused on ourselves. And this circumstance opened our eyes. And now we do fundraisers all the time. If I decide I want to do a fundraiser and I haven't had time to get approval from LuLaRoe, then we do it anyway, and we just donate a little bit more. Money is still really tight for our family as far as our personal finances go, but my why is to bless other people and give back the way that we were blessed. And the only way that we can afford to do that right now is through our business. I'm going to mute my Facebook so it doesn't keep dinging. Sorry.
How the heck do you do that? I get so sick of mine too.
Well, I don't think you can actually mute Messenger. I'm just closing out of my Facebook windows, so it won't. There we go. So for me, in order to want to do a fundraiser for someone, I need to see that they're passionate about the cause. I will be more than happy to get behind any cause. However, if I have a hostess and I'm doing a fundraiser for my hostess, I really want to see that my hostess is passionate about this cause. If she's passionate about it, I'm going to get behind her and we're going to be passionate about it together and we're going to make magic happen. I have done probably 20 fundraisers since last August. My absolute favorite thing to do, almost every single pop-up I have, whether online or in home, is a fundraiser. Sometimes they last a week. Sometimes I have a fundraiser that lasts a week and we don't quite get to where I want to get. And so we get permission from home office to extend that fundraiser a little bit longer. But for me, my why is behind every single fundraiser that I do. So if you're considering getting into fundraisers, first take a little bit of time and evaluate your why. Write it down and then think about how that why can fuel your desire or your drive to bless other people. Basically, the entire mission of LuLaRoe is to bless people. This is why we're in this business. Whether we're in it to make money or not, that making money, we're blessing our families. If we're in it to make money to help other people, we're blessing other people. What an amazing platform we have to reach people that we otherwise wouldn't be able to reach. So let's see. Steps to doing a fundraiser. Before anything else, you need to choose an organization. If you don't have a hostess, then look around you. There's a need every direction that we look in. If you're not very involved in your community and you're not aware of any needs in your community, then you can reach out on Facebook and say, you know what, I'd really love to do a fundraiser for someone. Does anyone know of anybody with a need? Anyone who's in the hospital? Anyone struggling who's lost a job? Anything like that? A dance team that needs costumes, but they're really expensive for competition. We could do a fundraiser for that. How about your sports team? You guys you won a tournament, so now you're heading to playoffs and you need all this money. Well, let's raise money for you. There are lots of different things you can do. My favorite place recently to go is a website called justserve.org. And it basically, you put in your zip code. It's kind of like GoFundMe, where you can put in a zip code and find fundraisers in your area. JustServe.org is a little different in that state-owned and city-owned organizations can also post their needs on there. So, for example, if the city needs help cleaning the grounds at the homeless shelter, they're going to put that on there. If the local women's shelter is in need of underwear and socks, they'll put that on there. So you can choose something that's in your scope where you feel like you could raise enough money to do what they're needing and go from there. It's really, really cool. This is also a way that we allow our children to get involved. We do just family LuLaRoe fundraisers where we take our kids who are 10, 6, and 5. We take them with us and we say, okay, this family that this fundraiser is for, this group of people, guess what, kids? They don't have a house like we do. They don't have a car like we do. They can't just go into the playroom and pick a toy. It's not that easy for them. These little kids, they don't have a daddy. So we're going to go, and all day today, everything we do is going to be for them. It is so important to me that I lead by example for my children. And if they learn anything in this life, I want them to learn that life is not about them, that life is about other people, stepping outside of ourselves, having that outward mindset. By the way, best book I've ever read. So if you haven't read The Outward Mindset, go get it. It's an easy read too. It's not like one of those you have to reread the same paragraph over and over again. It's an awesome book. Okay, so I am going to share my first fundraiser experience with you, and then I'll go through the steps. And if you guys have questions, feel free to put them in the chat. I didn't even know there was a chat until just now when I saw people putting answers there. But so I'll keep an eye on that too. But back in August, my birthday's in August. It was our 1-year anniversary of my husband deciding to change his life, and my birthday. And I thought, you know what better way to give back than to do 38 acts of service on my birthday. And so leading up to my birthday, we did fundraisers, several fundraisers to raise the money to be able to go downtown Salt Lake City. There's a park called Pioneer Park. It is a scary place. Full of drug addicts, homeless people, very, very, it's a sad place to see. But you go downtown, you go to a Utah Jazz basketball game, you go to the mall, you go anywhere downtown, and you have to pass by Pioneer Park. You see how sad these people's lives are. And so I wanted to do something for them. I wanted to put together care bags for as many of these people as we could. And so for my birthday is on the 18th. And so for the month of August leading up to my birthday, we did fundraisers, and I told everybody, a certain amount of every purchase is going to go towards this. I found pictures online of Pioneer Park of what it looks like, and I posted those as I was trying to advertise my fundraiser. People connect with seeing what they're going to be helping. So that's tip number 1. Whenever I do a fundraiser, I make sure that I am using some type of an image to help people emotionally connect with the cause. Not because I want more money for myself, but because the more people emotionally connect with the cause, the more likely they will be to participate in your fundraiser, and naturally more items are going to sell, which means you're going to have more money to donate. So we ended up raising total between the 1st and the 17th of August, we ended up raising over $3,000, which was amazing. Now, this was right after the Carly was launched, and that was amazing. It was amazing. And then on top of the normal fundraiser donations, I like to choose certain items. Right now it's Americana. We have a fundraiser starting tomorrow. And this is tip number 2. I like to choose an item that is maybe not necessarily selling very well. And I say, for every single piece of Americana that's purchased, I'm going to donate an additional $5. Well, I want to get rid of my Americana, but I also want to raise more money for this cause. So we're killing 2 birds with 1 stone here. I'm committing to giving $5 extra per piece if it's Americana that's sold. So some of you might be thinking, okay, that's a lot of money that I'm just giving away. And what I've heard over and over and over again is nobody ever got poor from giving. I believe in the law of attraction. I believe that the more you give, the more you get. And I don't go about giving with the mindset that I want to get. However, it's kind of just a natural result of giving is that you're going to be receiving. It's absolutely beautiful to give everything you feel like you're capable of giving. It feels so good. So we ended up making all of these blessing bags, and we went downtown, and it was my husband and I and my 3 children. We said a little prayer before we got out of our car because it's a scary place. And we go out with a wagon pulling these blessing bags full of things that we were able to purchase from the donations or from the fundraiser. And as we're pulling this wagon through the park, there's a woman shooting up heroin right next to us. And we go a little further, and these 2 boys ride up on bikes and open their backpacks and start selling drugs. And all of these things are happening around us. Yet we felt so incredibly blessed to be there, to be able to hand these bags out. We still gave a bag to that woman that was shooting up heroin, because you know what? She's in a dark place and she needed that. And we were able to bless almost every single person. We ran out before we got to the last group of people, but we were able to bless almost every single person in that park. And there are hundreds and hundreds of people that sit in that park on a daily basis. And my children were emotional by the time we finished. They were completely shocked with what they saw. And there were young girls, like 11, 12, 13-year-old homeless preteens in this park. And that was very sobering for my almost 11-year-old son to think those kids are the same age as he is. They don't have a house. Some of them didn't even have shoes on. A couple of them were drunk. And we are so blessed, you guys. If we are blessed enough to have a LuLaRoe business, then we are blessed enough to bless other people. So keep that in mind as you are trying to decide what to do next month. Maybe your sales are in a slump. You're looking for something. This will absolutely help. Not only your sales, but whoever it benefits. So if you've never done a fundraiser before, then first thing you need to do after you choose your cause is email fundraisers@lularoe.com. I like to include my consultant ID in the subject line. Makes it really easy for them. So when they receive it, that's the first thing that they need is your consultant ID. Then they don't even have to look through your email for it. So I just like to make it really easy on them. And then in the body, I just include the dates of the fundraiser. Or if you're not totally positive what your dates are going to be, say I'm considering these dates or these dates, they'll email you back usually within a couple of days to let you know. You have to email them at least 5 days out from the date that you want to start your fundraiser. So if I want to start my fundraiser on next Friday, I have to make sure that I email them by this Friday. It has to be 5 business days out. They don't do fundraiser approvals on the weekends, and those don't count when they're approving. So let's see. So you email them, and then you need to get to planning. If you want to have a successful fundraiser, then you need flyers, whether they're digital flyers because you're doing it online or flyers in the neighborhood. My current fundraiser is for a little girl named Lizzie who lives in Kim's neighborhood, actually, in Kim Roy Lamps' neighborhood. She's 7 years old, and all of a sudden, she started getting headaches, and one of her eyes started pulling inward, and they took her to the hospital, and they said, oh, she probably needs glasses. And her mom just knew that she didn't need glasses. And so they took her to Primary Children's Medical Center and found out that she has a very aggressive, inoperable brain tumor. And there's no cure for this type of tumor. No treatment in the United States aside from radiation. And they found that the only treatment, which is experimental, that is doing anything to this type of tumor is all the way in London, and it's $120,000 for the treatment. So not only do they need to get to London, but they need to pay for the treatment. So there are several consultants in this area doing fundraisers for Lizzie right now. This is our 3rd fundraiser for Lizzie, and it's been amazing how people have connected. Everybody knows someone with cancer. Everyone knows someone who has passed away from cancer or who is currently going through treatment for cancer. And it is devastating. And I cannot imagine finding out that my child had an inoperable, incurable cancer. I would do everything I possibly could to get her a little bit more time. And so if I can help with that, I will do whatever it takes. So we spent every night last week canvassing all of the neighborhoods around us, as well as Kim's neighborhood, putting up flyers for the fundraiser that starts tomorrow. Kim's neighborhood put on a huge luau on Saturday for Lizzie and raised over $14,000. Coolest thing ever. But we've now passed out over 1,000 flyers, my family and I. And that is one of the keys. If you're doing a fundraiser for someone who's local, then get out in the person's neighborhood who you're doing the fundraiser for if you can, if you're close enough. If not, send flyers to people who are in their neighborhood and have them do it. People will do anything for a good cause. Everybody loves to feel like they're a part of something good. So get out there, pass out flyers, knock on doors if you can, so that you can talk to people face to face about why you're doing this fundraiser. Last weekend, I had an in-home pop-up here, and it was part of this fundraiser, and I decided to move it outside. Nobody had shown up in the first hour, and I thought, you know what? We need people to see this. So we moved my inventory outside, and it was insane. We just moved it into my driveway. I didn't put up a sign. I didn't do anything, but everybody that stopped by, we have tons of older people that love to go walking in our neighborhood. They all stopped by. These older women were like, ooh, what's that, Lindsay? And I ended up selling things I never sell, and ended up introducing new people to LuLaRoe, and ended up making money for Lizzie. So being out in your community, passing out flyers, if it is, oh, Patricia, that's awesome. I'm just reading your comment that you guys did a fundraiser for him. Not that he passed away, but that you guys did a fundraiser. That's amazing. I think that there's nothing like the power and the love that comes from a fundraiser. There are families who lose their loved ones to cancer, and the expenses that come along with that, we can help with that. Let's see, does anyone have any questions before I want to share something from Ashley Hilliard that she said about fundraisers that I really connected with. I'll just keep checking to see if anybody has any questions. But Ashley said, fundraisers go way beyond you. You don't need to worry about how much money it's going to cost you. No one ever became poor by giving. When you're doing a fundraiser, don't worry about what will bless or benefit you. Serve selflessly, and it will be a huge success. And I just want to second that. I have never had a fundraiser that didn't produce amazing emotional results for the person receiving that donation. I have had fundraisers where we didn't reach our goal, and the recipients were still incredibly grateful to receive anything. The way LuLaRoe matches is they'll give you a tally sheet, and you can find that in Fashion Fundamentals. If you just go there and you type in fundraisers, all of the information that you need is there. It's also in Build under Assets, and there's an entire section on fundraisers. So you can print off the tally sheet. Even if I'm doing an online sale, thank you, Brittany. Even if I'm doing an online sale, I like to have the tally sheet out. There's two different ones.
There's one that you submit to LuLaRoe, and then one that you keep track of, right?
Yes, yes.
And they sent this to me through email, so they make it so easy.
Thank you. Yeah, and I like to have the tally sheet out during my sale to see where we are. So if we're getting close to the end of a pop-up online and we haven't gotten to $100, which is where we need to be with the increments that LuLaRoe indicates, then I'll let them know, guys, we need to sell this many items that are, this much money or whatever in order to reach our goal. Who wants to help us reach our goal? Is there something you've been eyeing? This is the perfect time. So on the tally sheet, it'll tell you the more expensive items that we pay more for wholesale are worth $3 each, like Amelia's and Carly's and Sarah's. And then the mid-range items are worth $2 each. And then leggings are worth $1 each, or $1.50. So then you just total all of that up. And then if you want to add your own donation on top of what you're already donating, but with those increments, then you're welcome to do that. However, LuLaRoe only matches the mandatory donation of the $3 per item, $2 per item, $1.50 per item. If you raise $1,000, LuLaRoe is going to pay you $1,000 on top of that. Well, not you, but to the cause. And the check doesn't come to you. It goes directly to the person for whom you're doing the fundraiser, which is awesome. When you write out your check.
Sorry, real quick. It doesn't have to be a foundation. It doesn't have to be anything specific. It can be to an individual person. And they actually required that of me when I did it for one of my friends. They said, we want to send it directly to her mailing address.
Perfect. Thank you. We've actually only done 3 that are for actual organizations. We've done nonprofit organizations, But we've also done individuals. Yeah. So it really doesn't matter who it is for. We just did one for a volunteer fire department in Texas where they had some wildfires and they were completely depleted financially. That was really fun. In fact, the whole community got behind it. They advertised it on the community's Facebook page. So if you're doing something for a community, there's another resource for advertising. Almost every city or township has a Facebook page. You can look up their Facebook page, and then you can, sorry, I was reading a question. I get distracted so easily, you guys. It's like that dog on the Up movie. I'm bad. I'm really bad. So you just look up their Facebook page, and then you message them and say, I want to do a fundraiser for this organization in your community. Would you please advertise it here so that everybody who belongs to this group can have the opportunity to participate? And I've done that in 3 different cities, none of them here locally, and they've all advertised for me on their city's pages. So,
one thing I want to add is you cannot do a fundraiser for a consultant. End of story. Make sure it's a good cause. It's helping towards, medical or, make sure it's a good cause. And like I said, again, it cannot, we've had that asked before, it cannot be for a LuLaRoe consultant. If there is a LuLaRoe consultant going through some serious hardship, then you can put it in their husband's name, but it's a fine line. So just understand that, be a little bit more careful on that and how you go about it. There are ways, but message me if you have questions about that. Just a heads up on that too.
Thank you. To answer Elaine's question, when you did the one for the park people, did LuLaRoe match, and did they write the check to you so you could buy the supplies? So when I originally set up this fundraiser, the policy was a little bit different. And they were okay sending the check to me because I explained what we were going to be doing. However, now we are organizing another one for this coming August, and I need to find a person who is not myself to be the recipient of the check. So we've decided to go to the Rescue Mission of Salt Lake, and they will be the recipient of the check. We're going to allow them to keep a portion for the shelter, and then they are going to give the rest of it back to us to then go buy supplies to take things to the homeless again. So there are ways to work through it. Whoever you're talking with in fundraisers through your email, you can ask them for ideas. This is what they do. They do fundraisers. They do approvals for fundraisers, and they're really good at helping you come up with a way to make it work so that you can get money to the people who need it. Let's see if there's anything else. Does anyone have any other questions?
Awesome. I really want to challenge you guys to go to Fashion Fundamentals. Like she said, Ashley Hilliard, when she said that, it was on the Fashion Fundamentals webinar. There's Q&As. There's, they're awesome. Fundraising, is it fundraiser or fundraising at LuLaRoe.com? What is it?
Fundraisers for the email?
Fundraisers, right?
Yeah.
I'm like, I always just type it in and it automatically pops up. Fundraisers at LuLaRoe.com. Give them the proper amount of time. I started one today and I submitted this morning. But I honestly do this every time. I'm so terrible. And they've always matched. They're always so great about it. Like, and also how you name your fundraiser in Bless is super important too. They want you to, that just reminded me I need to do that. They want you to name your fundraiser a specific name and Bless and all that stuff. So follow the guidelines, do it. And they are so happy to match. Okay. What is the most you've ever raised and had them match?
Last fall in October, we raised like $4,200 for the Asian Refugee Foundation downtown. And they matched every penny. So that's almost $10,000 that this refugee foundation received. It was pretty cool. That one was really fun.
That's amazing. And I love that. I just put justserve.org. So can you just go to your like individual location and look it up? I have people reach out to me all the time and, say, my kids, I really want to take them to the orphanage because my husband's gone a couple times to Mexico and they need to do that. you don't need to go to Mexico. We need so much service right here where we live, all of us. So I really love you putting that website out there, justserve.org. That is awesome. I'm super excited about that. And I am totally submitting your name to anybody I know to get you to speak more on fundraisers, because you are just incredible. So if it comes back to bite you, then you'll know who to be.